Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest GoSkills Excel Challenge solution. How close did you get to solving it?
Hey guys, welcome to the solution for GoSkills Excel Challenge number 66. Now, I'll start by saying this. Every task in this challenge can absolutely be solved the traditional way using formulas, features, and charts in Excel. But for the purposes of this challenge, I'll show you how I used Microsoft Copilot to complete each task. So let's dive in. Cool. So let's start with the first part of this challenge, which is clean a data set. So let's go into our messy data tab. And as you can see, of course, the data is looking very messy. To start, everything is in one column, and we can see that there are different types of inconsistencies and errors. And the thing is, if we try to do or figure out what these errors are, just by using formulas, it will take us some time. So let's use Copilot instead, and let's figure it out in a couple of minutes. So the first thing I want to do is click on the Copilot icon at the bottom corner. And by default, it will select this option, which is Allow Editing. And that will make Copilot edit our documents directly, which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to be using this prompt. I'm just copy pasting it. So it says, look at the data on the sheet messy data. Identify and tidy up any inconsistencies and errors. Output the clean data as an Excel table. And having the data formatted as a table, which is what I'm asking here, makes it much easier to reference columns by name when writing prompts later on. So let's go with that. And we'll wait a couple of seconds. It's just reviewing the rows and columns. And one thing that I'm really liking about Copilot in Excel is that it shows you its reasoning and the steps it's taking in real time. So we'll let it perform the task. Perfect. And this is what we get at the end of Copilot's answer. So it has performed this in 6 steps. You can see the details here. But let's go into the summary, and this is another great thing that Copilot provides you with, is what has happened or what has it encountered with the data. So this is a list of the issues found and that it has actually cleaned. So for example, there were duplicate records, there were inconsistent name casing, departments, employee types, and there were some invalid performance ratings too, and so on and so forth. So you can see all the detail here. And it also summarizes what the correct data is. So for example, we have 62 total records, what the name of the table is and where it's located. And we can also see at a glance the composition of the data. So for example, we have 7 departments, 3 employment types, which are contract, full-time, and part-time, which actually will be very handy for a task that we have to perform next, and the different locations in which these employees are based. So this is wonderful. This is actually what we want. And you can see that the clean data, it's now another sheet on your workbook. So I'm just going to move it here. Perfect. And with this, we can click Done. Our first task is completed without needing any formulas. Okay, so let's move on to the second part of the task, which actually involves some data analysis steps. Let's begin with the first one, which is sort the data by department and then by salary from highest to lowest. This is actually pretty straightforward, so I'm just going to use that same instruction as my prompt. So let's copy paste it and let's wait for Copilot to give us some results. Perfect. And the sort has been applied like in some seconds, so this is great. And here is what it came up with. So we can see the results actually here. So department is sorted by the name, and then we can see that the salaries on each department, they're also sorted from highest to lowest. Okay, so let's click on Done. And let's close this for a minute. So let's move on to the next data analysis task. What this is asking is to add a new bonus column to this table as to calculate the bonus that each employee will receive, and this depends on the performance rating. And so what the instruction is telling here is that first we need to look up the matching bonus percent in this bonus tiers table. That's how the table is named, but it's on the bonus tiers tab. And then we want to calculate each employee's bonus using this formula. So I'm going to go again to clean data. I'm going to open Copilot again, and we're going to use this prompt. So this is what I'm using. Add a bonus column to the clean employee data table. It should look up each employee's performance rating in the bonus tiers table to find their matching bonus percent, then multiply that percentage by the employee's salary to calculate the bonus amount. Let's input that and see what it comes up with. Fantastic. So we have what we wanted, which is the new bonus column in this data set. And if you click on the first entry, you can actually see what formula it has used. So for me, this is great too, because if you are still unsure of what formulas to use, if you actually want to use formulas or just want a refresher on how certain formulas work, then Copilot can actually help you learn them. So this is fantastic. Great. Now, the last data analysis task is to filter our data set to show only employees with an employment type of contract. And then we want to clear the filter. So let's go into our clean data tab, and let's ask Copilot to do that. Awesome. And the filter has now been applied. As you can see, we now only have employees with a contract employment type on the screen. And we can also see those names in the summary of Copilot's chat. Now we want to clear the filter because we want to work with the whole data set for the upcoming tasks. So let's do that. And we're just going to clear the filter. Now, moving on to the third part of our challenge, this is all about conditional formatting. And if we were to use manual conditional formatting, these tasks might take some time. But as you will see, this is going to get pretty simple as copy-pasting the instructions as my prompt in Copilot. So let's do that. We will start with the first one, which is asking us to highlight any performance rating above 4.0. So let's go to our clean data. Let's open the Copilot chat that we have, and let's paste the instruction here. Perfect. We can see that in a matter of seconds, it has highlighted with green all the performance ratings that are above 4.0. Now, the next instruction is to highlight the entire row for any employee whose bonus is greater than the average bonus. So with the traditional method, we will need to calculate first the average, and then we will need to apply some conditional formatting. But what I'm going to do right now is just copy paste this instruction. I'm going to go to clean data, and let's just ask Copilot to do it. Fantastic. So it has applied conditional formatting to the entire row where the bonus of the employee is higher than the average bonus of this employee data set. So let's click on done, and let's see what the last task is. Let's tick here. And so the last one is to add data bars to the bonus column. So the reason why we want to use data bars is because they let you instantly spot who's performing well and getting rewarded for it at a glance without reading every number, let's say. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it in our Copilot chat. Wonderful, here we go. So we have performed 3 data analysis tasks in probably less than a minute. So this is great. Let's click on done. Awesome, guys. So we have reached the final part of our challenge, which is to build an actual dashboard with the data that we've got. So we all know that dashboards can be time consuming, especially if we are starting them from scratch. So we are going to use Copilot in this case to get there much faster. But first, let's read through the instruction because it's asking us for specific metrics. So in this case, we want a dashboard that shows headcount, average salary, and average performance rating by department, the employment type split or breakdown, and a radar chart comparing average performance ratings across departments. So I'm just going to use the instruction as my prompt here. Let's go to our Clean Data tab. Let's open the Copilot chat. I'm just going to copy paste it. At the end, I'm just adding this phrase using the data in the clean employee data table, just because I'm on a new chat. And yeah, let's ask Copilot to do that for us. We can see that Copilot has already created another sheet for putting the dashboard there. Wonderful. And this is a great start for our dashboard. We can see that Copilot has generated all the key insights that we have asked for, which are in this table here. It has also given us the breakdown of employment type, which is also what we asked. It has generated a pie chart with that data, and it has also provided us with the average rating by department. And with this information, it has created a radar chart, which is extremely useful for visualizing performance. But let's say that we want to add additional charts to this dashboard. We can do so. I'm just going to type in this prompt, and I'm going to ask Copilot to add 2 bar charts to this dashboard. The first one is a column chart showing headcount by department. And I also want a horizontal bar chart showing average salary by department. So let's ask that and let's see what it comes up with. Wonderful. Here we go. It has created 2 additional charts that I can include in my dashboard. Now, worth being honest here, Copilot isn't always going to give you the most beautifully formatted charts and dashboards right out of the gate. But what it does save you is a huge chunk of time. It hands you all the tables, the charts, the structure, basically the entire skeleton of your dashboard in one prompt. So from there, I have just spent a few minutes sizing and layout to get it look polished. And well, here's my final results, as you can see, guys. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the challenge. I would love to see what your approach was. If you use Copilot, what did you think of it? How are you using Copilot in your daily work, if at all? And what prompts did you find worked well? And if you went the traditional route with formulas, I'd love to hear those too. See you in our next challenge. Bye-bye.
So there it is. Did you get the same results? Did you use the same approach? Or did you try something different? We'd like to know. Share your take on the challenge in the comments below or join us for more discussion in our Slack channel. Link in the description. Thanks for participating, and make sure to subscribe to this channel to get an alert when the next challenge is released. We'll see you then.